on the 1st of June 2013 at the Benjamin Hall. Lii di guddi yi ànd ak ndaanaan yi ci biir mbalax mi namoon ko yàkkamti woon ko ñëpp di ko sentu Fatou Guewel dama ne lépp lu bees the king of Kora the queen of Manding Sambu Suso ndaw guddi bu kenn des platinum $40,000 gold $30,000 silver $20,000 individual $1,000 support a worthy noble cause sponsored by AfriCell Gambia suñu réew.
Welcome back. Nigerian intelligence operatives say they have seized a cache of ammunition at a home in the northern city of Kano. The weapons were said to be owned by Lebanese nationals linked to Hezbollah. And the Central African Republic has issued an international arrest warrant for former President Francois Bozize. For more on this and other stories, we turn to this African News Roundup by CFI.
For doing this, they face up to 5 years in prison. The 3 feminine activists, 2 French nationals and 1 German who demonstrated in support of Tunisian activist Amina, will stand trial on the 5th of June in Tunis. They are charged with public indecency and attack on public morals. As for Amina, she remains in custody. After receiving a fine on Wednesday for illegal possession of pepper spray, Amina faces separate charges of indecency and maybe criminal conspiracy for acting as part of an organized gang. This is the arsenal that Nigerian security services are saying they discovered at a home in the northern city of Kano. The owners are reportedly Lebanese nationals linked to the Hezbollah. The weapons, the Nigerian intelligence chief said, were meant to be used to target Israeli and Western interests in Nigeria. Investigations are underway to determine if the Lebanese nationals are connected to Boko Haram, Nigeria's homegrown radical Islamist group. The Central African Republic has issued an international arrest warrant for former President Francois Bozize for crimes against humanity. Bozize was ousted by rebels in a coup in March. The charges fall under the scope of the International Criminal Court and include crimes against humanity and incitement to genocide. Bozize is currently living in exile in Cameroon. As economic growth hits a fresh low in South Africa, President Jacob Zuma tried to restore investors' confidence. In a press conference on Thursday, Zuma called for a fair settlement of wage negotiations in the country, particularly in the mining industry. The vital sector, which rakes in around 60% of export earnings, has seen a rash of wildcat strikes.
Syrian President Bashar al-Assad said his forces are in control on an interview with Al-Manal television. President Assad also mentioned his intention to run in the 2014 presidential elections, which the opposition says is laughable. As we hear in the CFI report, the Syrian army continues its bombings across the already battered country.
In case things take a turn for the worse. And Bashar al-Assad is beginning to gain confidence in his future. With Russian S-300 missiles already delivered and 10 MiG-29s possibly on their way, the Syrian president was interviewed Thursday on Al-Manar, the TV station that belongs to the pro-Iranian Lebanese Shiite militia. Assad explained he was engaged in an old battle.
Why is Hezbollah deployed on the borders inside Lebanon or inside Syria? Because the battle is a battle with the Israeli enemy or with its proxies inside Syria or inside Lebanon. There is a clear popular pressure to open the Golan Front to resistance.
Convinced his troops would triumph, Assad even said he was preparing to run for re-election in the 2014 presidential vote if the Syrian people want him to. Although the opposition forces are still very divided, they all find Assad's statements laughable.
So far about 3 or 4 attacks, by Israel done on the Syrian soil there, but there is, no action from this regime. All we see and witness is, bombing cities in Syria. I don't think this regime can do any attack outside the Syrian borders.
While it prepares for a new Israeli aggression, in the words of the president, the Syrian army continues with its bombings in a bid to remove the insurgents from their advanced positions just outside the capital, Damascus.
Allahu Akbar.
South Africans refer to their post-apartheid country as the Rainbow Nation, a term that celebrates the country's many culture. But that doesn't apply everywhere. There is a community in Pretoria where for white Africans only. Anyone of color is excluded from living there, but they can visit with a pre-arranged appointment. And CNN's Kebele Mabusi did just that.
It's like stepping back in time.
Can you just write there by name for me, initials and surname?
From the military-clad security at the gate to the sculptures and flags on display. This is apartheid-style living in democratic South Africa. It's called Kleinfontein, a whites-only private settlement about 30 kilometers southeast of the capital Pretoria.
Hello, Marissa.
Spokeswoman Marissa Hasbrook is unapologetic about the criteria for residents they want here.
Could I live in Kleinfontein? Kleinfontein is an Afrikaner cultural community. Are you an Afrikaner? Then you can't live here.
Afrikaners are white South Africans of mostly Dutch descent.
We are trying to preserve our own identity. We're a minority like Tibet is a minority in China.
How does living next to a black person stop you from preserving and practicing your culture?
But I can't speak Afrikaans all the time like we can do inside Kleinfontein. I can't just be a Christian. I can't even have my own hero because you're going to be offended.
The hero she's talking about is Hendrik Verwoerd, a former South African Prime Minister considered the architect of apartheid.
If you look over there, there's our community hall.
But as she shows me around the sprawling Afrikaner enclave, Hasbrook insists the people here are not racist.
My argument is that we won't allow white Afrikaner people here who are not aligned with our values.
And Kleinfontein is not the only community of its kind in South Africa. Orania in the Northern Cape is its better-known sister settlement. Orania and Kleinfontein have 2,000 inhabitants, a tiny fraction of the country's Afrikaner population.
We don't really feel welcome, all that welcome in South Africa. And if I look at, we are saying, please give us just a little bit of independence, and everybody's coming down on us.
They already run their own school and build their own infrastructure. And while the settlement has been criticized by political parties and ordinary citizens, their right to self-determination is protected by the Constitution. Nkebile Mabuse, CNN, Kleinfontein, South Africa.
Time now to take a second break. We'll be right back.
Gagné nap télé. Lo gagné? Ah? Lo gagné? Amul ni warga bi ni mu sellé té neex. Xott gi moko gëna neex. Mën nga gagné télé. Waaw. Mën nga gagné saaku ceeb. Mbaa bëteelub dawlin. Ngene mën a gagné welo. Ngene ma télé.
Welcome back. In German Bundesliga, European champions Bayern Munich are aiming to clinch a treble as they face Stuttgart in the German Cup final in Berlin. The game will be Coach Jupp Heynckes' final match for the Bavarians in a trophy-laden coaching career, whilst his opposite number, Bruno Labbadia, will be looking to win his maiden trophy with the South German club. Labbadia spoke to DWTV ahead of the weekend showdown and said planning against the all-conquering Bayern is a tough ask for his team.
13 was a tough season. With its small squad, Stuttgart struggled to stay afloat in 3 competitions and finished 12th in the Bundesliga. Veteran players couldn't find their form. Youngsters failed to meet expectations. And then there were the inevitable injuries. With Stuttgart needing to consolidate financially, the club couldn't afford reinforcements. Detractors criticize the team's poor home record and its defensive lapses. For a